Hey there, I'm Eli Kennedy, and this is the first video post for 8 Fit Heroes. It's going to be part of the 8-Bit Heroes network. You may peripherally have seen me around, whether that's on Destiny content probably, or maybe some of the D&D stuff. But for those of you that don't know me, again, I'm Eli, and I'm coming to you here from sunny Orlando, Florida. I'll probably record these more regularly indoors on my desktop or from my phone after runs and things like that. But for this first video, it was kind of hard to turn down, showing off a little bit of where I'm coming from here. So, for those of you that may not know me, I graduated from medical school in 2016 and matched into emergency medicine, which is my passion, certainly, as a career. So when you go to the ER, you see an emergency physician. That's the type of doctor I am. And I'm in residency right now, so I've got about 16 months left of a 3-year residency. That is pretty time intense, but that's what it takes. That's what you have to do to be able to have all the skills and training and stuff necessary to kind of practice on your own, unsupervised. So that's what I'm doing down here in Orlando. I was matched here. So when I looked at places I wanted to attend training, the number one on my list was Chattanooga because I'm from East Tennessee originally. My wife is from Chattanooga. We have family there. It was a good fit. It was a good program. But number two on my list was Orlando. I loved the program. I loved the people here. I really had a good feeling about that. And I won't lie, the weather and being 20 minutes away from Disney World was a huge motivating factor for my wife and I. We are unashamed, unabashed Disney fans. I'm wearing actually an Expedition Everest shirt here, you can see. And maybe I shouldn't be loyal to a multi-billion-dollar company and an expensive theme park, but it's definitely something that excites me and gets me going. Other things I love, Tennessee football. It's actually on my CV. Gets inappropriately emotional about Tennessee football, and that is completely true. I love my dogs. You'll probably see them wandering around in the background at some point during this. I love video games in a big way. It's been a part of my life in some form or fashion since the late 80s. And, I've built numerous computers. I play PC games. I play Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. I have all the consoles. I have all the games for the computer. I don't necessarily have the time to play them right now in this stage of my life as much as I'd like, but I feel I am definitely an 8-bit hero from that perspective. But what about 8-fit heroes? Where does that come in? I think my 4th year of medical school, I know most of you probably haven't completed medical school, but it doesn't take much to imagine what that looks like. It is time intense. It's a lot of studying. It's a ton of work. And I think I'd kind of let myself go worse than usual. I've always been the chubby kid in class. You look at my pictures as a kid, I was always overweight, I think, but I really kind of let myself get out of hand in medical school, especially my last year of medical school. A lot of video games, a lot of craft beer, and kind of waiting to find out where I was going to match. And so, I ballooned up to probably about 293 pounds. I'll put a picture up here. You can kind of see what I looked like. Sort of not enjoyable to look at. That's not something I'm proud of. I'm not sure exactly when that was taken, but near the end of medical school or the beginning of residency, those pictures were taken, and sort of that's me at my heaviest. 5'8" is how tall I am, and being 293 pounds, you can kind of see where that calculates out on the curve, but definitely obese. And I kind of just decided that I didn't want to be that anymore. I think foundationally I have a self-esteem problem. I think as Billy and Curtis and other people will tell you, I certainly have an ego. I'm, not one to shy away from an argument. I'm not one to doubt myself when I think I'm right. But at the same time, I think foundationally a big part of my personality is sort of this imposter syndrome. I don't think I deserve to have gone to medical school, even though I took all the tests and passed all the tests and showed up and did all the work. I have this sort of nagging feeling like one day they're going to discover that there was a different Eli Kennedy that they were supposed to admit to medical school. And, I have that sort of feeling always in the back of my mind. I've also never really liked my body in any way. I still don't, but I really didn't at that point. I kind of made a decision when I had sort of ballooned up to that maximum weight, that 293 pounds, that I didn't want that anymore. I can't control how I feel necessarily about myself in terms of my intelligence and sort of the self-esteem and all that sort of stuff. But I can control how I look. My weight was a consequence purely of my own choices. And so I sort of made that decision that I wanted to change. I have 2 daughters. When I started this journey, I had 1 daughter, Grace. She was born during my first year of med school. She's 5 now. And 8 months ago, my second daughter, Cecilia, was born. And I want to be there for them when they're older. I want to walk them down the aisle. I want to be healthy. I want to retire at a reasonable age and move to the beach or somewhere I want to be with my wife. And I want to live a long life. And I wasn't able to do that, or at least I don't think I'm going to be able to do that if I'd continued down the path that I was going. It's also hard to tell somebody in the emergency room that their health situation is a result of their weight, their fitness, their diet, when I'm not living proof of that. I'm not an example of that. And so, for my patient's sake, I felt like I needed to make a change. So, 18 months ago or so, I started really just kind of nothing crazy, just trying to watch what I ate. I didn't really go insane on counting calories or anything like that. I just tried to be mindful. I started running again. I've always loved running for the last at least 5 years, I would say. Growing up, it was always something that I admired, but I never could do. And but I always had this, I remember being in college and telling someone I wanted to complete a marathon. And that was hilarious because even in college, I was the chubby guy. But I just had such an awe and such a respect for people that were able to complete that level of running. People always say the phrase, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and things like that. It's the ultimate endurance challenge, I think. And I think it takes certainly a level of physical fitness, but it's a level of willpower and mental fitness as well. And I've always respected that. I've completed a few half marathons, never in a time that I was happy with, but I've completed a few. But as I've fallen more and more in love with running, thanks to many of the apps we're going to talk about here on 8Fit, I kind of incorporated that exercise into some lifestyle changes. And as we sit here today, March 1st, 2018, I'm down 62.2 pounds from when I started residency over 18 months ago. You might be thinking, well, idiot, why didn't you start the video series then? And the answer is, I don't know that I really believed I was going to be able to sustain it, But as I sit here, this is the lowest I've weighed as long as I've tracked myself. I want to keep it going. I want to be held accountable. I think this record is going to help me to keep myself accountable. I think it kind of scratches a creative itch a little bit. And I think it sort of is going to be a motivating factor for me to take that next step, push it to the next level, because I'm not done yet. I want to lose another 40, 50, 60 pounds to get to where I think I'll be healthy. I'll probably always be a little chubby. That's probably just my personality. It's probably a little bit my body type. I don't know. But if I could get down to 175, 180, I think I'd be really, really happy there. We'll see. So, kind of in summary, I know this video's gotten a little long at 8.5 minutes. It's tough, the time demands in residency are challenging, but I make a commitment 4 to 5 times per week to run. I'm making a commitment to improve what I eat, how much I eat, and when I eat. And, I have these long-term goals in terms of completing every half marathon this year at Disney. Again, there comes Disney again, but that's what I want to do. I've already completed the Disney half marathon in January. I want to complete the Star Wars Dark Side half marathon at Disney World in 8 weeks. And then in November of this year, I'm going to do the Disney Wine and Dine half marathon, which takes place during the incredible Food and Wine Festival. As an aside, if you ever get the chance to come down to Food and Wine, you should do it. And then the long-term goals, I want to do the Dopey Challenge. No shame, no illusions, no lying about it, no secrets. I want to do the Dopey Challenge. That is on marathon weekend, they do a 5K on Thursday, a 10K on Friday, a half marathon on Saturday, and a full marathon on Sunday. So you do almost 50 miles in 4 days. And I want to do that desperately. I don't know that I'll be able to do it this next January. I think it's really challenging to carve out enough time to train for a full marathon in residency, but the one immediately after I graduate, the one in January of 2020, I really want to do the Dopey. I might change my mind. I've got a month and a half here to change my mind before I register for the marathon this week, or for this year. But my kind of initial plan is keep working on the halves, get good at doing the halves, and then when I have a little more time after I graduate residency, go up to full marathons. So I hope you'll join me for this journey in 8 Fit Heroes. We're going to tie it back to 8-bit a lot, you know. I love video games. It's a foundational part of who I am. I will always be a gamer, but I am committed to not just being a hero in the digital form, on a computer or on a TV screen. I want to be a hero in real life to my daughters, to my wife, to my patients, and to myself. So I want to achieve those goals in terms of weight loss, in terms of overall health and fitness, in terms of my running goals. We'll tie in a lot of the apps and games that we use to sort of make ourselves more fit. Technology has changed the way we exercise, and certainly it's changed my life. So we'll tie that in. We'll tie in a little bit as well the nutrition. We'll keep track of my labs and things like that from my physician and how things are going. We'll keep up with progress pictures, and then we'll keep up with runs. You know, I'm going to make a lot of videos that'll be kind of post-run, talking about how I feel, sort of track it, sort of help keep me accountable and see kind of what that next step and what that next stage is, see how far I can push it. So I hope you'll join me on this 8 Fit Heroes adventure, see if we can become heroes together in the real world and see just how low we can take it. So thank you again. I look forward to the next one of these, the one after that, and see what we do. Thanks.